Alrighty, guys. Um, Howdy, and Shadow Tier here. I just wanted to. This is a basic video, like a start for the Pokemon trading card game online. I apologize for the Bing. That is my frickin' Hangouts Messenger. Kind of talking to somebody, but so we go over like the basics of how to get in here and stuff. So we're gonna go to our home screen here. When you first log in, this is the screen that you'll see. After you create your Pokemon Play account or your account, actually, let me log out. Let me do this. I think it's gonna make me log back in, so you may get. There we go. Okay, so you'll start here, right? You'll have to log in. If you're new, you'll click the start thing. It'll make you make an account. I think that also makes you a Trainer Club account on the Pokemon website. Maybe not, but you can link them. So this account can be tied to your actual Pokemon Play ID. From there, you would just hit login after you got everything done. It'll take you over here to the next screen. And then you'll get the loading screen here, and it'll slowly load up everything and all the cards and stuff like that, and various databases. Oh, not that one. Trying to send a link to somebody real quick for something. There we go. And okay, so you get here and it'll bring up the challenges that you've got for right now. So right now I've got a fighting one here. Knock out 12 of the opponent's Pokemon with fighting or rock types, because rock type uses the same fighting energy. Put 7 dark type evolutions into play. If you ever need to check that, you can do so here under challenges. There's occasionally an extra challenge for like extra digital packs and stuff like that. Completing these gets you, for level 1 it's a coin, for level 2 it's sleeves, for 3 it's a deck box. So if you get to level 3 in these, that's the max. So you can max out all your various types. I've done 2 for fire, 2 for water, and 2 for psychic. Starting to work on fighting. So, oh yeah, when you start, you'll start with a few decks. I've got extra ones because, yeah, it'll also walk you through a tutorial. To see your decks, these are all my theme pre-constructed decks. You'll have a quest when you first start the game for this one. I don't know if they've upgraded decks or not, but usually you'll start with the 3 basic decks. So your XY basic green, XY basic red, XY basic blue. If you buy a trading card deck like at Walmart or another retailer that sells the actual physical trading cards, you get the TCGO code in the box. It's an extra card that's white, it has a code on it. If you go here to redeem codes, you can put that code in here, or if you have a webcam, you can just scan the QR code directly. I don't have a webcam hooked up to this computer at the moment. But you would put your code in here, hit submit code, it'll come up here, and you would claim. So at that point, then you would have your copy of said theme deck here. I've got, this is an old, like 2-player starter set. This is a black-white era deck. This is a Team Plasma Freeze kind of deck. I think, yeah, that's a Plasma one too. So those are black-white era. I've got the like one of the XY starters here. The Chespin deck. There's another XY era deck. I believe that is as well. Most of these are XY era. And you'll see on the, oh no, these are still black-white, because there's a Plasma Blast decks. But you'll see they'll say XY on the side of them. This one's Furious Fists, Phantom Forces, Primal Clash. So they have these set that they came out of Roaring Skies here for these. Breakthrough or Breakpoint. Yeah. And then this was a 2-player starter. They then moved on to doing this. So this is the one Sun and Moon deck that I've got. This is a theme deck. And it'll provide you a coin, the deck box, and your standard card sleeves. If you click here for View Deck, it'll show you all the cards in the deck. These are all the Pokemon cards in the deck. I'm going to scroll kind of slowly. Up to including your 2 Solgaleos, all that. If you want a closer look on them, you can right click. It'll bring up each card. If you click here, it'll show you all the variants of that card, and if it's a like stage 1, it'll show you its so that's the thing. It does it for all of them. So these are, there's 24 Pokemon in there. Then you have your trainer cards, so your rescue stretchers and nest balls and stuff like that. Big Malasada. Stadium card for the Ultra of Sun. Your 3 copies of How. All of that, 2 Kukuis. And then you've got 20 energy in the deck. These decks tend to have way more energy than they need, so yeah. But yeah. And so, I mean, that's the theme deck. Then the format that I normally play is standard. So standard is this orange one here. And if you hover over it, it'll say, standard, expanded, whatever. This is an old deck that I was using in the Sun and Moon era that needs work still. Kinda terrible. I bought a collector's tent. You can buy them at Walmart for like $20 or so. It's several packs and a foil. I actually need to find that holo because I believe it was a Solgaleo GX. But that gave me this deck. So if we inspect the deck here, I got to choose the coin for my standard, for this out of my standard stuff. Okay. The deck box, it let me choose, but I still kept it as the default one. Yeah, so you have all your different deck boxes and stuff. Based on the types that are in the deck, you'll get to choose from these with the symbols on them. If you want to tell people what's kind of in your deck, you can use those. Most people will use something like this, or a vanity one, or one of these. Just because they look kind of cool. The Solgaleo GXs that are in here, that GX attack isn't, bad, but there are better ones. The discard all energy here, not good. Not good at all. So yeah. And then of course, this one actually had double colorless in it. It had a couple of ends in it. It had sycamores in it. Hell, it had Shaunas in it. So it's not a very competitive deck, but it's not, as terrible as one of the pre-constructed decks for going and actually playing versus against players. This is the deck that I made for Sun and Moon. I'll show you guys it real quick. I was gonna make it a Flareon EX deck. The reason being is Flareon EX, starts at 50, 20 more damage for each fire energy attached. And then under training cards, you have Kiowe, I think is how you pronounce that. I'm not sure. Uh, I'm kind of terrible with Hawaiian names, even though my roommate's Hawaiian. So I may ask him how to pronounce that at some point. But yeah. Search your deck for up to 4 fire energy cards. Attach them to one of your Pokemon. Shuffle your deck. Your turn ends. So you need to use him early game. But not terrible any at all. My supporters and trainers here aren't optimized at all. I've been using Fighting Fury belts. Because I have a lot of basic EXs here. I got the Mewtwo EX. I got the Tauros GX, who's actually saved me and been a win condition a couple times. I put 2 of these Mews in there because if you've got stuff on your bench and you run into like an Alolan friggin' Ninetales. Like, none of this stuff here can hurt it. None of your EXs, none of your GXs can hurt that. This can. And it can use any of their attacks. So, what I would do is, I've used it to mimic the Jolteon's attack. I've used it to mimic the Flareon's attack in a couple of games because you can one-shot that Vulpix, or that Ninetales, take it out, and then he's got free retreat. So provided they don't nuke him because he's only got 50 hit points, 90 with the Fighting Fury belt, you know, provided they don't nuke him to death on their next turn, even if they do, he's only 1 prize card, so they lose the prize trade. You know, so at that point, you can go back to GXing. Don't run into a whole lot of Alolan Ninetales, but have run into it a few times. Was annoying. I put special charges in here because I run DCEs, double colorless energies, and you know, they're having the ability to put them back in the deck, so they're available, is a very good thing. I run Ultra Balls to try and get Pokemon out. I don't actually need them really with this deck with the number of Pokemon in them. In it, 15's actually probably more than there should be in there. But yeah. I run the Scorched Earths because, yeah, I probably shouldn't be running those. There's probably more effective stadiums out there. I usually just use it to get rid of other people's stadiums. I run Misty's Determination because, you know, yeah, I may take those out for a couple of, I think it's Max Ether, to get energy onto my bench Pokemon. I think that would probably be a better fit there than Misty. I run 2 copies of How for more draw power. I run Giovanni Scheme for either the extra damage or the draw power. It's a really versatile card and I like it, so I run it. I don't think there are a lot of people running them, but I like to run them. I already showed you that one. Now Fighting Fury belts. I run Float Stones because the Flareons in the deck have a retreat cost, as does that Tauros GX. The Jolteon's got free retreat, and the Mews have free retreat, but nothing else does. So being able to facilitate a switch if like something gets poisoned or something is really nice. What else do we have here? I run 2 copies of Repel because it's not a Lysander, but it definitely works. I run 4 copies of Professor's Letter for a little bit of energy acceleration into my hand. Run 2 copies of Nest Ball to help get stuff out. So what I may do is get rid of the Ultra Balls, up my next Nest Balls to 4, get rid of the 2 Misties, and run Max Ethers for more energy from the deck directly to a Pokemon. For energy, I'm running 4, 4, 5, and 4 because of the variety of Pokemon that are actually in there. So running probably more energy heavy than I should, but it is what it is. There's a lot of different types in here. The EVs are nice, but generally only want to evolve them into the Espeon GXs. So I may take the Mewtwo's out and place them with energies or trainers at this point because I don't really need them. I probably will actually. I've got the Flareons, I've got 2 Jolteons in there, so it's 4 Flareon EXs, 2 Jolteon EXs, 2 copies of Mew just in case, 1 Tauros GX, 2 copies of the Energy Evolution Eevee, and 2 copies of the Espeon GX. Run Espeon GX because this GX attack I find is very, very versatile. And, I mean, admittedly, it's only 100 damage, but it's 100 damage meted. It's 10 damage counters for 100 damage, meted out at 1 damage counter a shot. So, if I did damage to something and they retreat it, I can use said GX attack, kill off what's on their bench, and possibly kill off another smaller Pokemon on their bench. I actually just barely managed to do that to somebody in a game yesterday. So yeah. But yeah, so I mean, this is how you would set up your decks and stuff like that. This is a deck that I'm testing that I'm still trying to get the hang of because I'm using it. It's basically just Lucarios. To have more Pokemon in the deck, I put the Machamp in there just because if I can get him sitting on the bench, it's nice. What I may do is take these out and then put a couple of rare candies in there so that I can just go from the Machop to the Machamp, and that'll help. I'm running 2 copies of this, the Fight Alone Lucario, because it's base 30 damage, and then if they have a full bench, it's 60 damage for every Pokemon they have more than you. So if you can read what they're doing and you know they load out their bench and then you evolve your Riolu, then you're doing massive amounts of damage. Especially if they're playing something like Fairy, or they have some ice types that are weak to steel. It's rather nice. And then I'm running 2 copies of the Stance Lucario. I like it because I saw the ability and I went, you know? Yeah. When you place Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon during your turn, you may prevent all effects of your opponent's attacks, including damage done to this Pokemon, until the end of your opponent's next turn. So as long as they don't switch him out, you know, they don't find a way to make him retreat or anything, like, I would use one of my repels or something like that if that were to happen to me. If I happen to have one, of course. Then he's immune to everything your opponent can do to him next turn. It's only the 1 turn, but if you also managed to attack that first turn, if they weren't weak, you did 120 or 100 if they're, you know, resistant. But chances are you're going to take whatever they dish out that next turn and not take anything from it because of that stance ability. And then when you attack, you'll be able to finish their Pokemon off. The reason that I run the Machamps are for, of course, Fighting Fury. Each of your fighting Pokemon attacks do 20 more before applying weakness or resistance. So yeah, he helps out the Stance Lucario. For trainer cards, we're running Nest balls, we're running super rods for energy recycle. We're running max ether or max elixirs, yeah. We're running Professor's Letter to help with our acceleration. We're running repels. We're running Scorched Earth for a little more draw power occasionally. 2 Hows, 2 Shaunas, because I don't like having to throw everything away with Sycamore. We're running a Center Lady because I just saw people running Center Lady and various other heals, so decided why not. We're running our Giovanni's. We're running Wally. I'm probably going to cut back the fan clubs, honestly. I think I may take 2 of those out so that I can go 2 more max elixirs. For energy, I only have the 3 strong energies. But if I had a 4th one, it would be in there. So we're running 3 strong energy, 8 fighting energy, 4 steel energy because we've only got the 2 standalone Lucarios. And so yeah. That deck kind of works when it runs right, but yeah. Our expanded format, just stuff I was trying out beforehand. All decks that I made, up to and including single type deck here. This one I built like straight for speed, so it's 2 copies of a Charizard line. We've got we've got 1 Houndoom EX. We've got 4 Flareons. We've got VS Seekers. We've got Max Elixirs. We've got Fiery Torches from the Flash Fire set. We've got a 4th Max Elixir that's a reverse. We've got Escape Ropes. We've got Switches. We've got Trainer Mails. We've got a Sacred Ash for recycling our Pokemon. We've got Evo Sodas for the Charizard line. We've got 2 Scorched Earths. We've got Sycamores. We've got Blacksmith to get our energies back onto our Pokemon. We've got Bridget. We've got Ends. We've got a Full Art Lysander. We've got the Fighting Fury belts for the like the Flareons and stuff, and then we've got 16 fire energy. It was just built to be fast, and it works. It's actually a very fast deck. In the current actual expanded set, I don't think it would be good. But then I don't have anything for these 2 formats, which I don't know what formats those are off the top of my head. I can find out. Because if you go here to create new deck, it'll tell you. I don't have Legacy or Unlimited. If you happen to have a deck list on your clipboard that you put together somewhere or something, you can import it. So that's cool. But yeah, where I started off, just kind of learning and stuff, was this trainer challenge against the AIs. As you can see, I still have trainers I need to beat here, so I need to finish 4-starring them all out. But the rewards for these are not super bad. You get a pack of cards every time you hit the end of them. Me check status. You get a booster for winning 12 matches with each of your constructed decks. Actually, this one is 7. Oh, you unlock cards for this one. You unlock cards. That one's also a booster unlock. I want to say this one is a oh, we already unlocked all our cards there. But yeah, so I mean, you'll unlock stuff just by playing these trainer challenges if you don't want to play against actual players. I don't think I've played this deck at all. That looks to be a new deck. So yeah, it looks like they've kind of changed their rotation some. But yeah, so you'll start with, it looks like currently you'll start with the Hidden Depths one, the Crushing Current one, and probably the Born of Fire one. So yeah, those will probably be what you guys start with. I started with the XY ones, but we're now in Sun and Moon era. Anyways, this video is running a little longer than I thought it was going to, at 25 minutes. If you have questions or comments, I'll be happy to take them. And what I'll do is I'll go over the what the basics are for the cards and a basic rule set in my next video. I just wanted to get an introduction out for the program, and you can find it on Pokemon.com. Let me make sure that I've got. Okay, so you would go to Pokemon.com, and it'll redirect you to where you are. You would click on Trading Card Game, and then if you scroll down, there should be a link. I'm trying to find it here. To the actual online TCG. There's one. No, that's not it. So okay, screw it. At the top of the page at Pokemon.com, there is a right next to where it says Ultra Sun or Ultra Moon. Basically middle top right hand side of the screen. It says apps with a exclamation point and a little picture of some various apps. You would click that, and it'll say, you know, Pokemon mobile TV app, Pokemon Playhouse, Magikarp Junk, Pokemon Duel, Pokemon Go, all that stuff. The bottom most right hand side one is the Pokemon Trading Card Game Online. You would click there, and it'll take you to the site where you, or the page on the site where you can download the the Trading Card Game Online, or the TCGO. And let me look here. It says free to play, yada yada yada, and then there's a download the installer. It'll give you your choice of operating system. You can even get it for tablet at you know, on the Google Play Store. So yeah, it's not that big of a, it's not that hard to get. So you know, I would suggest just go ahead and doing that, and then oh, there we go. So at this point the servers are going down for maintenance, guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and get logged out. That's the video for today, and I'll be posting another one tomorrow. You all have a wonderful rest of your day, and let me know if I'm actually producing interesting TCGO content here, or what you'd like to see change. Thanks, guys.